Hello Aquarius, welcome to your November reading. If this is your first time stopping by, please hit the subscribe button so you can be notified every time I post a new video. Okay, my friends, let's get started. What do I see for you for the month of November? And we start with the Two of Wands. So I do see a lot of you guys are planning different things, are planning to travel, are planning to expand. For a lot of you Aquariuses, I do see that you have been focusing a lot on your career, on achieving your goals and your dreams and your professional life. It's been very competitive when it comes to your work and your career. It's been very competitive, but you have come victorious and you know your value, you know your worth. But in the process, I do see that a lot of you have maybe neglected your love, your relationships. And now you're at a point when there's a lot of conflict and tension. I do see a lot of conflict and tension, and I do see your partner becoming more clingy, more possessive, more jealous. There's a lot of passion there. And this can be the type of relationship that when you first met this person, you felt like you met your twin flame. There was a lot of love, a lot of passion, a lot of chemistry between the two of you. And now it's transformed into maybe jealousy and possessiveness. And Aquariuses don't like that. Aquariuses wants, you guys want to feel free. You want to feel like you have a friend, a companion into the person, into your partner, not a clingy, possessive partner. You don't like that. So at this point, you're maybe being a bit more flirty. You're looking for different ways to get out of this relationship and start something different, or even be on your own, because it's just becoming too much for you to handle, and you're feeling alone and isolated, and maybe you're feeling a bit misunderstood. So there's a lot of conflict feeling there. I also do see plans to travel and go somewhere and leave for a little bit, leave the situation. In the second week with the Nine of Wands, I do see that things will start to get even more difficult, even more complicated. You are at a point when you feel like you just can't handle this anymore. Okay, and there's just too much fire, too much passion for you. Aquariuses are a mental sign, are an air sign. You think everything more logically, more cold-minded, and it looks like your partner, as I said, it can either you can be either dealing with a water sign or a fire sign, and they're much more emotional than you are. And they're just making things very difficult for you. Even in the card, you can see that the terrain is there's a lot of rocks and mud, and it's difficult. You're standing your ground. You're standing for what you believe in. You're standing strong. You're continuing to you're continuing the relationship. Some of you might be married, might be having a lot of things in common that keep you in this relationship with this person. Might have children together, or you might own property together, or anything of that sort. And so there's a commitment there that you can't just up and leave, but it's getting very difficult for you to continue this. It's becoming very stressful, very heavy for you. That's the energy that I'm feeling with the Nine of Wands. And in the third week with the High Priestess in reverse, I do see that you guys are also a lot are very much in your head and listen to people around you. And there is this need to go inwards, go inside and listen to your inner voice. Okay, there's a lot of knowledge within you, Aquarius. Don't just try to look for different things. Listen to different people. One rule that I obey by, it's I never talk about anything that is personal or when it comes to my relationship or my marriage, to people that are not married. Especially because even if you are in a relationship, it's just depending on the level of commitment you're in. I would not share with different people different things. In general, I'm very private, but there are very few people that I might and I might share something, and I keep that in mind if I'm talking to a person that is in a relationship, because there's a whole different advice that you can get from someone that is not in a relationship compared to a person that might be in a relationship. Or if you don't have children, talk to someone, or getting advice from someone that doesn't have children compared to someone that does have children. So there's a whole different scenario, a whole different feedback that you might get from people. So I do see that some of you might be influenced from the environment around you, from people around you, and you haven't taken that time to just look deep inside of you. What I would suggest you guys is, before you make any rushed decisions, to actually take some time for yourself, and just focus. What are you thinking? What are you really feeling? What is the right thing to do? Without listening to other people, without getting advice from anyone, just focusing on yourself, and without rushing into making something happen fast, or into coming to conclusions really fast. In the last week, with the Six of Swords, I do see that you guys have this desire to leave, this desire to go, this desire to leave this turbulent situation, this toxic situation behind of you. And even in the image, we can see the person looking ahead. There's the unknown. You don't know what's waiting for you on the other shore. And then there's a symbol of the child looking behind. So this person is not looking behind, but the child is. So sometimes we have to also keep in mind, especially for those of you who have children, how your decisions are going to affect your children as well. It's not just about you, it's also about your children. So look at things in that way as well. Don't just focus on yourself and what's good for you and what's best for you, but also look at what's best for your children and what's best for your family as a whole. Especially couples that have been together for a long time, they go through things. Life is a roller coaster. It goes up, it goes down. Not everything is perfect, but it's important to make a decision once we have taken everything in consideration, and we have at least really attempt to fix things, really attempt to solve things. Try everything you can first, and if things don't work out and you still feel this way, then the time has come to maybe end the situation. So the Six of Swords is also an indication of travel, as I said, with the Two of Wands. Starting the month with the Two of Wands, you're planning to go somewhere, and ending with the Six of Swords, you're physically going somewhere. Or this can even be a situation of being unhappy where you currently are, meaning your home, the town you're currently in. For some of you, it might not have to do with your relationship. It might have to do with a situation that you're just fed up with, and you want to move. You don't like where you live. You want to change where you live. You want a different place. You want to rent out a different place, or you want to move to a different city and maybe closer to home, closer to family members. Maybe you're tired of being alone. The Nine and the Two of Wands is an energy of feeling alone. Also, the High Priestess is an energy of feeling very alone. So you want that support. You want to have people that love you and care for you close. You don't want to feel alone anymore. You want that warmth. You miss that warmth from your family. Okay, my friends, it's just I do see you focusing on moving, focusing on starting over, focusing on leaving leaving all this turbulence behind and moving towards calmer waters. So that would be the end. That would be basically the energy during the last week of November. And from the Oracle of Angels and our spirit guides, the message is seer. See beyond the current situation. And seers in Native Americans, they used to have at least one person from the family would have the ability to see either future events or really see deeper into current events. So seer doesn't necessarily predict your future. It just gives you clarity towards different options that you have in your present future. That's what I feel. This energy is strongly connected with tarot, and the lady has also the cards in her table, and also the crystal ball indicating foreseeing something. And friends, keep in mind, the future is always changing. The future is not set in stone. So if someone tells you that reads your cards, or be careful when you're working with people and they give you a final answer that this is absolutely gonna happen and there's no way around it, it's not true. There's always a way around things. The beauty of tarot, and especially for you Aquarius, this would be a good time to maybe book a reading with someone. If you would like to book with me, of course you have the link down in the video. You can see www.goldentruth.com. The tarot is a great way to give you bird's eye view of the current situation. Once you're very deep into something, you can't really see clearly what's going on. You might be not seeing what the other person is going through. And you can talk to someone, you can sit down, you can have a conversation, but you're not really listening to them. You're just waiting for your turn to say something back. And you're not really absorbing anything. When you hear it from a third party, it can be a counselor, it can be a spiritual guide, it can be a tarot card reader or astrologer or whoever you decide to work with. When you hear it from another person, that gives you a much more clear vision, okay, to see the situation beyond what is currently happening. So it gives you an idea of the past mistakes, how they have affected your current situation, and it also gives you great insight for different options that you might take in the future and where those options are going to lead. For example, you can either stay in the relationship and make it work, or leave this relationship, and then you can do a reading what will happen if that would to be the case. So it gives you a lot of clarity. I've started working with tarot myself because it has helped me a lot in the past for my own personal life. So that's why I was fascinated with the cards, and I started studying them over 6 years ago now, and ever since I've been loving the cards, been working with different people to help them as well. And I absolutely suggest anyone, if you maybe don't feel like you have the finances to actually book a regular counseling session, or talk to a professional, maybe it might be too expensive for you, or that's just not something you can afford at this time. Having your cards, booking a private reading for tarot, it's much more inexpensive, and in a way it's spiritual. It's for me, it's also psychological as well. It has helped me and myself a lot. So I do suggest you guys, if you're going through this specific situation and you resonate with this reading, to go and book a personal reading for yourself. From the Oracle of the moon, the messages: show the world the real you. Wow, full moon in Aquarius. So the time of the full moon is a time when the energies are reaching a peak. Okay, we know that even the level of the oceans rises during a full moon, and of course we're as humans, we're 75% of our body, 75% of our body is made of water. So of course our emotions are rising as well, and we might feel a lot more tense and kind of explosive in a way when the full moon is in Aquarius. This is also an indication that you're too much into your head, Aquarius. You're focusing too much on other things than actually feeling. Okay, you're just thinking things. You're just thinking of all the things that you can do. Maybe some of you might be even acting a bit selfish and just thinking, oh, well, I can't do this anymore since I've been in this relationship and I don't have my freedom and I can't really do everything that I want to do, and feeling restricted. This is a time for you to go more inward. As I said, with the High Priestess, feel more with your heart, don't be so much in your head. And this person might need you, a friend, or even you can even signify that either a friend or your partner might need you to be there for them and understand where they're coming from. The full moon in Aquarius, it can also signify a unexpected change of events. This situation might take a complete different turn. Now you might be focusing on something else, and it might be a whole different turn. You might feel like you want to leave and you want to start your life over or anything of that sort, and things might completely change, and you might decide that no, this is the right person for you, and you really care for this person, you really love them, you want to be with them. That's what I'm feeling, because Aquarius, it's ruled by Uranus, which is very rebel, it's very unexpected, brings sudden change to our lives. That's the energy that I'm getting with the full moon in Aquarius. And for a lot of you Aquarius, is this person, it is the main person in your life, the main female in your life for the male Aquariuses. You are the main female for, if you're a sign, if you're a female Aqua, then you are the main female for this person, for your partner. So you do play a really, really important role in their life. And as you can see, even the number is 2, couple being together. Okay, you play a very, very important role. I don't know why you guys are trying to maybe be tough or act like you don't really care that much, and you're not you're ready to start over or to get your freedom or something of that sort, I'm feeling, but you really care about this person. They're close to your heart, really, really close to your heart. You're strongly connected together. From the Oracle of Love, the messages, relationship patterns, it takes strength to recognize the need for change. Especially for those of you who will take this time for yourself, this time to maybe take a break from the relationship, spend some time apart. Make sure you work on this relationship patterns. What has been happening? Taking responsibility for some of this situation. Don't just blame everything on your partner. Don't just expect them to solve everything, or sometimes it takes strength to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, really, like, I've messed up many, many times. My partner has told me they don't want me doing this and this and that, and I keep repeating the same thing over and over again. Maybe there's things that I myself need to change, that I'm not doing the right way. But it does take strength to admit that, to say it out loud, to take responsibility upon yourself and do that change. It takes strength. And I do see that you guys will focus on that. Will focus on looking at those patterns, looking at yourself in the mirror, facing the reality with wisdom. Iris is a symbol of wisdom, intelligence, really focusing and seeing things for what they are. From the oracle of your spirit guides, animal spirit guides, the message is the manatee. Your animal is the manatee, and the message is accept the situation as it is rather than fighting to change it. Wow. Accept the situation as it is rather than fight to change it. Okay, so yeah, we do have two contradictory messages here from relationship patterns. It takes strength. It takes strength to recognize the need for change and accept the situation as it is rather than fighting to change it. Okay, guys, so as I said, this is the future. The future is not set in stone, so it can go either way. It's good to know. So you have options. One option is to either accept things for what they are, look at the glass half full, focus on the positive things, the positive aspect that your partner have, the relationship has, okay, because nobody is perfect. Maybe you might be asking for too many things that are not reasonable. So in this case, I would suggest make a list of all the good qualities that your partner has and all the bad qualities, and see which one is more, the good qualities or the bad qualities. If the good qualities outweigh the bad, and if the bad is not really as bad, or there's things that, because we can ask someone to change, but we also have to want them to be themselves, because if you're asking someone to completely change who they are, then, or they're asking you to change completely who you are, then did they fall in love with you, or did they fall in love with that image that they wanted from you, that they wanted to create from you, or that image that they had in their head of you? So that there's a difference there. So focus on that part. You can either do that and just accept the situation for what it is, if you see that there's not going to be any compromise, but you still love the person and the good outweighs the bad, or look at the relationship patterns, see if it's really worth it. What do you feel in your heart? Not just logically, because logically you're very, very sharp, very, very smart, but also like emotionally. How do you feel emotionally when it comes to this relationship, and what decisions you want to make? Okay, my friends, and as I said, you are the main female in this person's life, or your partner is the main female for you. So either cases, this is a very, very strong, important relationship. From the oracle of crystals, the crystal that would help you a lot during this month is the citrine. Beautiful, lovely crystal. I personally myself love citrine. It's one of my favorite. It's connected with success, is the stone of happiness. It opens your solar chakra. It helps you, gives you that strength, that will to do what you, the things that you want, to manifest your dreams. It's connected with the sun energy, indicating fertility, indicating abundance coming in your life. Success also brings happiness and joy, just feeling more positive, and it puts you in a more positive, happier mood. Something that I like to do with my citrine, sometimes I leave it outside on a sunny day, and it says that I've read somewhere, I've heard somewhere that it absorbs the sun, the sun energy, and you can almost feel it. It's weird. Even the crystal itself, it gets heavier on the touch if it's left outside. Maybe it's expanding. I don't know. I don't know about that part, but I do feel different if I leave the crystal outside. I can feel the energy changing, and it just kind of recharges me. If I'm holding the crystal, it gives me like a boost of energy in a way. I love citrine myself. I love this crystal. It's been one of the very first ones that I purchased for myself, and it was also used in ancient times for from merchandises, from people that had their own stores and they had their own businesses that would keep a citrine close to where they kept the money in order to bring more business into their stores, and more money and more abundance into their business, into their life. So definitely recommend the citrine for those of you who are looking into purchasing a crystal and meditating with it. Just maybe, as I said, leaving it outside, let it charge with that solar energy, and just keep it with you to give you a boost of positivity throughout the day. And from the Oracle of Money and the Law of Attraction, the message is, I am becoming more aware of my feelings about money. Many people protest when we explain the power of telling the story of their finances as they want it to be rather than as it is, because they believe that they should be factual about what is happening. But if you continue to look at lackful what is and speak of what is, you will find the improvement. You will not find the improvement that you desire. If you want to affect substantial change in your life experience, you might think thoughts that feel different as you think them. So very true. And this reminds me a bit of that, of what I've heard with what Jim Carrey said, that he wrote a check to himself, and then after some time, after a movie he made, he actually got that same amount of money that he wrote years ago on a check. He got that amount of money returned to him. So it's good to be aware of money and the feelings that you have for money, and believe that you can be abundant. That there is a lot of abundance all around you. There is an infinity of wealth. Believe that you're worthy of it. Okay, think about it in a positive way. Don't think that you can't achieve something. You can't do it. I only have this much money. Just because you have this much money today doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have that same amount of money in the future. If you are open-minded, if you think positive, if you think that that's something that can and will happen to you, that in a way opportunity is gonna, the universe is gonna create that opportunity for you. That law of attraction is gonna match that vibration that you're releasing and bring you something that matches that vibration, that's going to help transform that desire, that wish that you're trying, that it's going to help you manifest that, bring it into reality, make it tangible. So just think about it in that way, in those terms, as something that is doable, it's possible, can and will happen. And it will come to you. Don't focus too much on how much money I have today or how much money I used to have in the past. Focus on the money that you do have. Focus on the money that you might have one day, and you will have one day. Focus on that. That's going to make a huge difference in your life, in your finances, in how abundant you are. Okay, my friends, I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If you enjoyed this reading, please share it with other Aquarius friends as well, so they can get these messages too. Thank you again. I wish you a great month, and I see you on my next video. Bye bye.